Is watching pornography cheating? I cannot tell you how many times I have been asked that question, mostly by women. So please stay tuned, watch the answer, and you're gonna watch the whole thing because I'm gonna say something at the end that's gonna make a lot of sense. So if you haven't subscribed, please do. If you have a question, put it in the box. We wanna hear from you, and stay with us. Is watching pornography cheating? Now, I'm going to be sensitive here. First of all, if your spouse has been watching pornography, let's talk about your pain first. Your pain is 1000% legit. You feeling betrayed and hurt, disgusted, slimed, all legitimate. You experiencing trauma from this. I wrote a whole book called Partner Betrayal Trauma. I highly recommend you get that and be able to see statistically what you've experienced. The pain of pornography is so real. Now, the addict to pornography is not going to agree with you. They don't need to agree with you, but it's real, okay? Now, we're gonna have to define cheating in different ways, okay? There's spiritual, emotional, physical, and sexual, okay? So let's break that down. Is pornography spiritually cheating? Yes. Not just on you, but on God himself. God tells us not to lust after another man's wife. God tells us not to do those things, okay? So it's cheating on God. It's cheating on you because spiritually, they're going to another place to get their unconditional love needs met. They're going to a place where they are God, they are worshiped and doing things like that. So spiritually, there's a real element of cheating, okay? Emotionally, when they go to the fantasy world to hear boo-boo mommies say things that maybe they want to hear or they've created to hear or that they're not hearing, and they go to that place to get it met, of course, there's emotional aspects to pornography. It's not just images, it's the things they say. And for this, I would strongly recommend you watch the video or book, Upgrade Your Sex Life, because oftentimes I've dealt with thousands of sex addicts, probably 5,000 or more, and their spouses and the pain of the spouses, okay? So I'm compassionate on both sides. But in Upgrade Your Sex Life, we talk about the different types of sexual expression. And sometimes the addict goes to the other world to hear something from their sexual expression that they haven't figured out in their marriage, okay? And that's not putting any responsibility on that person. It's a couple thing for them to figure that out. But I would encourage you, if you're gonna do recovery, to figure that out so it doesn't become something later as a variable. But there's definitely this sense of emotional betrayal. You would rather be with them. You would rather watch them. You would rather hear what they have to say. You would rather watch that stuff. And just the time that's taken from your relationship is a form of cheating. Okay? And then there's the physical component. I'm not saying sexual here, I'm saying physical. When they go and ejaculate or have an orgasm to pornography, man or woman, they literally glue to hunger for, crave, and reinforce that image, and they become an appetite for that, and they can actually become addicted. And if they become addicted, then there is this kind of, I'm physically cheating because I am giving my sexuality, my orgasms to this image, to this movie, to this thing, to this voice. And oftentimes they have sex addiction. If they have sex addiction, go to sexaddict, SEXADDICT.com. They can take the 6 types test. They can find out how to get help with sex addiction. There's lots of materials. We have lots of groups, phone counseling, 3 and 5 day intensives. There is a lot of help for sex addiction. Now, let's go to another level here, because this is kind of the advantage and disadvantage of working with addicts and partners for over 35 years. I've had thousands of women who are cheated on and some men. And the women who have actually experienced infidelity, their husband had oral, hand, vaginal sex with an affair partner, a prostitute, a one-night stand, a co-worker, their best friend, a family member, whatever. That is a different level of trauma altogether. There is something, and I cannot totally explain it, that when it actually involves a physical person, it is dramatically different as far as trauma and pain. Now, if you've only experienced pornography as betrayal, you would definitely feel that that's cheating, okay, and adultery. And depending on your faith, you might have some real strong beliefs about that, okay? Because if you lust after a woman, now that verse is continuing to lust, but someone who's continuing to do pornography is continuing lusting. So for your spiritual understanding of whether they technically committed adultery so I can technically get divorced, you need to technically talk to your pastor, okay? I'm going to give that responsibility to them. However, I have never heard a woman who've experienced real infidelity, real cheating, real secret world, real affairs that go on for years, sit in a chair in front of me and say, Dr. Weiss, I really wish he would have looked at pornography. You know, that would have been more traumatizing to me. I'm glad he didn't look at pornography because that would have really hurt me. Not in thousands of women. So there's a distinct difference in real infidelity. And I think when you've only experienced pornography as the cheating, you're in real pain. And because you don't know how worse that pain could be, you want to move towards that word of infidelity. And emotionally, spiritually, and physically, you have real valid things. But to compare yourself to someone who's experienced real infidelity, the pain is totally different. The trauma is totally different. And if you're in a room with partners, you want to be sensitive about the way you communicate that because your pain's real. But to say it's the same as you he's had 6 partners, you got an STD, or he got another woman pregnant, that's not exactly adequate. So you want to be at least going, okay, yes, you cheated on me spiritually, emotionally, you cheated on me physically with these images, but you didn't cheat with another person. You cheated with an image. So cheating with an image is legit, it's painful, it is not cheating with a person. That's different. Now, when you cheat with a person, that's a different type of trauma. Are they both cheating? Yes. Okay, pornography is going outside your relationship to get your needs met. So is food addiction. So is over-entertaining, being on Facebook for 10 hours a week. So there's so many ways that we cheat on each other. Okay, workaholism is a way of cheating. Pornography is a way of cheating, and there's no way around that. But it is not infidelity in that sense. Infidelity is actually a sex act. Okay, and even in the spiritual community, there's a separation between lust and adultery. Okay, actual adultery is different. Now, if you have a question about that inside your spiritual community, I definitely want you to have that conversation with your pastor and let them guide you spiritually. I just wanted to have this conversation to kind of parse out cheating so that if you've experienced pornography, you have experienced tremendous trauma and cheating. Is it infidelity? That is another trauma level that you have not experienced. Does it feel like that? Yes, to you it does. But actual infidelity feels worse than what you're feeling. It's more painful and more complicated. And there's more competition. There's more comparison, about who they were, what kind of body they were, what did you do, what did you actually do, all that kind of stuff. And is a huge threat to your relationship, and more than pornography would be, because this is a real person. This is someone they could leave you for. So hopefully this conversation was tactful enough for you to understand it is cheating, spiritually, emotionally, physically. Infidelity is a whole nother category of cheating, and they're both legit. Your pain's legit. The process to healing is very much the same, whether you've been cheated on with a person or cheated on with pornography. The recovery for the person who cheated, whether infidelity or pornography, is very similar. I would strongly encourage you to get into, if your spouse is doing pornography, we have a group for women called Partners, and get on the Facebook group there, get in a phone group, start your healing, You know, if you are the person who has cheated, there's help for you. If it is sex addiction, get help for that. If there's other reasons, come do an intensive, 3 or 5 days, figure this out, what's going on, get under the hood. You can do a polygraph to verify if this is all that there is, because once you get pornography, did he actually cheat is the next question. And you wondering about that can cause more pain. And so what you want to do is get a polygraph. We do them all the time here. You can do them locally, but you want to get a polygraph and verify, okay, this is when it started, so when it stopped, because pornography generally starts in your teen years. It didn't start when he married you, generally speaking. I would say less than 2% of guys start pornography after marriage. Most have a process, even an addiction to it before they start. So you were not why they cheated. They've been cheating on themselves and cheating on God since they've been like 13, 14, 15 years old, getting their needs met in a false way. So I encourage you, just to walk through the pain you're in, whether it's the cheating of pornography or true infidelity. And those are separate. The trauma is different. The pain is real regardless. So honor yourself and get some help from that. Call our office, 719-278-3708. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. And in the box there's a place for questions. You might have one, put it in there. I really want to encourage you to take the next step in your healing and your recovery.